there.
I think Declan and I were having incoherent conversations with each other. By the
Yeah,
end.
we didn't even have to speak. We just look at each other. We talk.
No one else knew what we were saying, but we got it. We got it.
Groovaholics, welcome to the Rochester Groovecast podcast. Birthed by a love of music, we're all about culture. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember the fee. If you gain value from this podcast, personally share it with a friend and explain your favorite part. Let's get groovy.
Welcome, everybody, to the Rochester Groovecast podcast, your top source for live, local, regional music, interviews, and events from Rochester, New York, and the surrounding region. I'm with two parts of Deco and the Dusters. I've got Declan and I've got Ignatius. Guys, so if someone's watching this, they've got to recognize you. If they're watching it, they can see you. But if they're listening, I want them to be able to recognize your voice. So introduce yourself and, tell me a little bit about what you do in the band.
Well, I'm Deco, full name Declan Peter Banco. I brought the band together, and it's myself, the mastermind, that writes all the music. Nate plays the saxophone, or Ignatius, as we have here. Nate. Kyle Ingalls plays the bass, and Scott Calvin plays the mandolin. And these are some of the best musicians I've known in my lifetime, and I've traveled all the way around the world, so that says a lot. With my guitar, writing music. That's the way it should.
Wow, so you've traveled, just to dive deep, because you said you traveled all around the world. Where have you been? Any favorite places to play?
Well, it started in New Zealand. I was living in New Zealand for 2 years. Favorite places to play was probably Nepal, and Ireland as well. We have an amazing pub in our hometown that has a nice stage in Roscommon. It's called J.J. Harlow's. Won some awards for authenticity.
I love it. And I'm happy to have you guys on here because I haven't seen you live yet. Obviously, COVID's made that very difficult. But I listened to these two newer tracks, and I'm like, I got to have them on the show. This stuff's great. And we've got two tracks to listen to. We can start with Last Train to New Orleans, but I want you to help preface it for us. We'll talk about the track a little bit more in a moment here. But is there anything I should be listening for when I listen to this track?
Ooh, good question. Anything?
You can chime in too, Ignatius.
I don't know. It's a good story, man.
Could be listening for Nate's background vocals. I was yelling at him to get him up in the studio. I was like, "Get him up, man! Bring it up! Get some balls!" It's fucking.
Yeah.
But we'll just we'll give it a listen. And I want to know what stands out to you.
Yeah,
and
we'll
as
give
we
it a
listen to it, I will obviously remember. Okay, this is what we should have been looking for. Just the lyrics in general. Just give the lyrics a good listen, and we'll talk about the song when it comes to it for sure.
Yeah, and it's possible a lot of people at home are giving it a whirl for the first time as well. So let's all check it out and let's see what we got here.
I was coming down the road with a bouquet of dahlias in the cold rain. Well, a few months passed and I'm sitting on my own writing a song back home, all that pain. Cause I'm never going down that road again. Yeah, I'm never playing second fiddle in a three-piece string band. Starting again no more. what you got when you're hitting with a lot, but you don't know how you feel when your senses are reeling off. And the next shot was shuffling Houston, put on a plane and dropped in concessions with duty free and all of life's lessons. Oh, whoa, 'cause I'm never going down that road again. I get my shoes tossed into the ocean when I'm all the way here on land. No, I ain't starting again no more. Check it out, boy. Brown skin won me over one too many times. They got me busting rounds in the last train in New Orleans. Caught them by the heels and revealed what we had. 'Cause I'm never going down that road again. Get charms and a feeling rocking around me, so blue again. No, I ain't starting again no more.
You're listening to the Rochester Groovecast podcast. Head over to Facebook, like Rochester Groovecast, and mark our page as See First to keep in touch with everything new. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, guys, that was awesome. I'll tell you exactly what stood out for me right off the bat is your voice is different than what I'm used to, and I like that. And also the fact that there's a saxophone in this, folky, bluegrassy kind of tune is another thing that stands out. It's not the same vanilla, not to call any other bands vanilla, but the same vanilla folk music that I've heard before, doing something different here. So I commend you for that.
To be fair, though, there are quite a bit of vanilla folk bands out there.
There's a lot of great ones, but even with this sort of string thing that we're doing, I have seen a saxophone in this kind of setting before with Merle Haggard.
Hell yeah.
He's done something like that before.
Now, what else can we learn from this song? Is there anything that inspired the lyrics? Anything? Tell us a little bit about the songwriting process, maybe.
Well, I wrote it after taking a train in New Orleans with some great musicians from the area. Kyle, the bassist, who I'm sure he's not here right now, but he led the charge with Kaylee Clark, who is Garth Clark's older brother, and Emma Time, another great musician from the area. And we all took a train down to New Orleans, and we busked in some of the best places down there. I was playing this real folky instrument. I brought my bouzouki. It's an Irish bouzouki, and Emma was playing French horn. I was playing bouzouki. We were on the side of the Mississippi River, and there was a ferry boat with a steam pipe organ on the top that was jamming right along with us, and that was like nothing I've ever experienced before. And that's just how that song came about. It came out of nowhere. I spit the lyrics, just pulled them out of the air. Wasn't sure exactly where half the stuff came from. It's one of those songs.
I love it. I've not to digress, but I've never even heard of bouzouki. I'm gonna Google that as soon as we get off here. And I'm sure you've got a couple interesting instruments you play, but I'm curious for both of you guys, just as a fun question, if you could play any instrument in the world that you haven't even started yet, and let's say you could become a master overnight, well, what
Okay.
instrument would you want to be a master at real quick?
Nate, you go first.
I would probably do the calliope. It's like that really high pitched, kind of sinister sounding organ. It's kind of like an organ, but it's played differently. And it's like what they use in the old school carnivals. The only reason really why I like it so much is because it's definitely annoying. Is because what's his name? LaVave, Anton LaVave. He played the Calliope. He's the modern founder of modern Satanism. So hail, hail, hail to the Dark Lord.
Hey, you're ridiculous, dude.
That's an answer.
Yeah.
For me, every instrument I've always wanted to become a master at, I picked it up and I went out of my way to get one. The piano was a big one, and I got one for free on Craigslist that was beaten up, and I completely restored it and refurbished it. Recently, I picked up the banjo. That's something that just, I feel like I was born to play it, because you just switch one letter in my last name. From Banco, you got banjo.
True.
But something I haven't learned yet that I would love to play, maybe the bagpipes.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
That'd be fun. Let's ask one more question, then I want to move into Skittering Down the Mountain, because that's another great track. But musicians, kind of wild animals at the core. It's like, why choose a profession that doesn't pay well? It's stressful. There's all these reasons not to be a musician, but then there's 100 million reasons to be a musician, and why it's fulfilling, and the creative aspect, and to get to play live and experience that energy with the audience. And I'm kind of answering for you. I don't mean to. My question is, what got you guys into music? Like, well, why are you so passionate about it? What got you started?
Well, what got me started was seeing Bob Dylan play Mr. Tambourine Man when I was like 12, I think. From there on, it just got folkier, and it just branched out, and it went all roots for the most part. But I love many different kinds of music, different kinds of jazz. I like some old school rap. I liked punk music for the longest time, ska music. But I dialed it down, and my favorites would be bluegrass, outlaw country, Irish folk, classic rock. I mean, we play obviously because we love to perform, and I'm glad that we got Nate here, because he's another brilliant songwriter. He's the other mastermind in the band when it comes to songwriting.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I guess for me, I would rather be dead than, if I couldn't play music. It's like the only thing I know how to do. It's the only thing that I have found that actually makes my life worth, doing and getting up in the morning. So, and I'm not really good at anything else. So it's kind of, that's what I got to do.
Hey, you're good at pulling the ladies, man.
Well,
Pulling the ladies, dude.
I mean, that's another thing that makes life worth living too. Very, very important.
Pulling the ladies using music.
Yeah, it's the Trinity. It's the music, it's the ladies, and it's the food. You can't forget those are very, very important in life. But ever since I was a child, like my parents, I don't obviously remember this, but I think it had some effect. But the first moments out of the hospital when I was a baby, newborn, my parents got us into the car. I'm the firstborn son from my two parents, and they flipped on Abbey Road. So the Beatles was the first song I ever heard in my life was "Come Together" by the Beatles, and I think that really kind of put my life into on a certain path, because I fucking love rock and roll. Yeah.
Seed was planted while you were young.
Oh yeah, they did a good job. My folks did.
Guys, tell us about this Skittering Down the Mountain song. Should we just listen to it, talk about it later? Or do you have anything that you'd like to say before we listen for the first time?
No, let's just jump in.
Yeah.
Let's dive in.
Dive
This is
into it.
fun for me. It's great because these tracks just came out. Well, you have a release date? How long ago has it been?
Little over a month, I think.
Okay, so these are still fresh. Yeah,
Still fresh.
we'll talk after this. I'm sure you're recording more, writing more. I'm excited to see you guys live soon now that things are starting to open up a little bit. But let's talk in a second. Let's listening to Skittering Down the Mountain.
Skittering down a mountain, 9 miles in the rain, saturated. 9 mile back up, 9 mile back down, slipping, sliding all over the ground. Oh Lord, in the pouring rain, keeping warm with a nip whiskey on the range, dodging the smoke, smoldering on the plain, skittering down the mountain, 9 miles in the rain. Snout and look in his eyes, said, boy, I'm gonna kick you about with a great stampede tearing through the high east. You'll be stuck on Algonquin for weeks. Oh Lord, in the pouring rain, keeping warm with a bit of whiskey on the range, dodging the smoke is smoldering on the plain, skittering down the mountain, 9 miles in the rain. Off to burn our root structure with old Bessie Smith. Jeez, waiting for me by the placid ski lift with a campfire and those hard-hitting splits. There's puddles in my boots as the time starts to slip. Oh Lord, in the pouring rain, keeping warm with a nip of whiskey on the range, dodging the smoke that's smoldering on the plains, skittering down a mountain, 9 miles in the rain. Gone are the days when the ox fall down, dig up the old plow the fields around. Gone are the days when let it sit please, with gentle Jack John, won't you come me? With brown-eyed women and red grenadine, the bottom was dusty, but the liquor was clean. Sound of the thunder with the rain pouring.
I hear what you did at the end there.
You dead fan?
Yeah, I love it.
Right on, man.
Skittering down the mountain. Where'd that term even come from?
So it all happened. We were going down the mountain, right? The day before, and it was totally dry. And Kyle's just kind of, with his feet like down this big old
Yeah.
boulder. I'm looking at him like, oh, you skittering down the mountain now, are you? And he's like, hey, skittering down the mountain. From there, it took off.
Yeah.
Scott actually had the chorus 9 miles in the rain because we were looking at it. When we got there, we are like, ah, geez, we're trying to do Algonquin in the rain, you know? And Scott's like, dude, 9 miles in the rain, put that in the song. So that automatically became the chorus. We knew we were putting something together as it went along, and we just had an absolute blast putting this one together. I actually picked up the banjo specifically to put it on that song. I hadn't started playing the banjo until January.
Wow. No, great track. I'm sure everybody at home loves it too. I'm excited to hear more from you guys. What can I look forward to in the near future? Anything from recording new tracks, writing new songs, playing shows? What do we have to look forward to this summer?
Currently, right now, we're putting something together with Tyler Westcott of the Folk Faces, and we're going to do a super busking session on the Erie Canal.
Oh.
Aside from that, on Memorial Day weekend, we will be playing at Cherry Hill Campground, an amazing venue right across from Darien Lake Theme Park. We had a blast last year when we played there. We partied it up with everyone afterwards, and had a great time. Yeah, and Nate was there.
I think Declan and I were having incoherent conversations with each other. By the
Yeah,
end.
we didn't even have to speak. We just look at each other. We talk.
No one else knew what we were saying, but we got it. We got it.
Oh, what a fun place, Cherry Hill Campground, home of Folk Faces Fest. But then they do those, of course, nowadays socially distant little festivals where super exclusive. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. Another thing I should point out is that Scott, our mandolin player, actually coined the name of the album itself, the Get Dusted album. That's what he said, promoting a show after his first show with us. He said, "Get dusted," because he's wanted a dusted.
Yeah. I like the slogan, Deco and the Dusters, get dusted.
Get dusted.
Nothing to do with that duster stuff, right?
No, not like a Swiffer duster. We were thinking more like there's this old timey long cowboy jackets they would call those dusters. But in reality, I'm looking at the roots music and how we're dusting it off and bringing it back.
I like that. This is random, but Shooter Jennings has a song came out a long time ago, but he says, let's put the O back in country. And I like that concept of let's dust it off and bring it back to where it should be.
Exactly.
Cool. How do people keep in touch? What's the best way to reach out to you guys? Listen, learn more.
You can message our band page on Facebook, Deco and the Dusters.
Easy as pie. I'll put that in the show notes. Deco and the Dusters. This stuff's great. I'm excited for more to come from you guys. It seems like this band was a recent inception. How long's it been?
Well, Deco and the Dusters started in 2017 with just me and a good mate of mine. His name was Nick Hendy. And we had the drummer from High Pines as well. His name was Elliot Jackson. And it went on for about a year. And Hendy was going to Montana. And I was going to New Zealand. So we went on a hiatus for a while. I came back. Hendy didn't come back.
Miss you.
Kyle was still around. Nate was around. Nate, I actually, when I started the band, just before I started the band, I come up to Nate at a Christmas party, a town Christmas party, and I say to him, I'm looking to start a band. I'm going to call it Deco and the Dusters. And Nate's like, yo, can I be in it? And I was like, yes, you're the number one man. I want my band. It was just, and from there, it just kept going up and up and up. And we've had so much fun playing everywhere we go. And we just want to play more gigs. It's kind of tough right now because there's a lot of bands and there's a lot of great musicians in the area and they're all trying to book gigs and everywhere is getting booked up right now. So we're doing the best we can to book gigs.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to hearing more from you guys, seeing you live for the first time, listening to these tracks a few more times. Reminder to anybody listening at home, all you got to do is click rewind, and then you can listen as many times as you want, but you can also check them out on Facebook. And thanks again, ultimately, guys, for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers. One more thing. Nate
Please.
has a band right now that is killing it. That's his thing that he's doing with his music that he writes and so many other great musicians. And the name of that band is Public Water Supply.
Thanks, Deco.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, check us out. It's a fun deal. We're bringing back Outlaw Country.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Love to hear it. Well, awesome. Deco and the Dusters, Public Water Supply, great musicians here in the region. Everybody support. If you haven't ultimately went and liked these guys yet, I don't know what you're doing. If you haven't liked Rochester Groovecast, I even more so don't know what you're doing. Do that now. Like, share this, that whole shabam. And yeah, thanks a third time. I could thank you guys 100 times. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you for putting us on your show and getting us out there. Means a lot.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Rochester Groovecast podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and remember the fee. Share this with a friend and tell them exactly why they should listen. And don't forget to keep it groovy, baby.